Hello everybody and welcome to quarantine workout number 30. I noticed before we get started here, I got a stool sitting right there and I got $1 Million Baby on the TV. Now if you've seen that movie, you may think that that's a bad omen. Let's try not to read too much into that. If you haven't seen the movie, you should watch that movie. That's a really good one. So we'll get started with general warm-up today. As always, you should be used to that by now. Once you get through general warm-up, then we got 10 and 10. This time for 10 and 10, you're gonna go the first 4 walkouts with 1 push-up. You go the next 3 with 2 push-ups. You do the next 2 with 3 push-ups, and then you do the last 1 with 4 push-ups. So we're gonna rack up a few there. After that, you got your corrective squats. Don't rush these. Good form, good technique, attention to detail, like I'm sure you always do. After that, we're gonna grab a stretch cord. And we've got 2 things with the stretch cord. One, we got sharks. We're gonna do that for 20 reps each. So just nice, smooth range of motion, good technique, right? Good posture, focus on your breathing. It's always a good time during warm-up to start focusing on the breath because you're gonna need it once the work gets a little bit more difficult. Once you finish the sharks, then we're gonna go into the iso cuff series. So working all the same rotator cuff angles, but now working at isometric contraction, which means you're not gonna be moving. So I'm gonna hold the handle for this. I'm always keeping, remember, if you forget, this is very, very simple. You're always keeping your palm facing your thigh. That's how you do it. So I step away, I breathe 6 times, in through the nose, out through the mouth, step back, and I change my angle by 90 degrees. Now I'm gonna hold it this way, step back, 6 breaths, release. You do that until you've gotten all 4 of the points on the compass, then you switch sides, and then you finish up with internal, external rotation. Internal rotation, this is feeling better for me. And then external rotation. And always you're holding that contraction for 6 breaths. Okay, once you're done with that, we're gonna go through the first circuit. I want you to move through all these moves quickly and then take just a little bit of rest at the end. You know, just a sip of water, 5, 6, 7 breaths, nothing too crazy. You're taking about 15 seconds, 20 seconds rest tops, and then go right into the next round. We're gonna go through 5 rounds. You're gonna start with freestylers. Face down, forehead on the mat, arms out in front, raise the arm on the opposite leg, nice and high, and control the release. You wanna feel the connection between the shoulder and the opposite hip. You want to feel like it's contracting inwards and lifting that leg and arm up off the ground. You want to feel not like you're lifting with your hand, not like you're just lifting with your shoulder, but like you're lifting between the shoulder and the hip, and that's causing the leg and the arm to raise up and then lower it with control. So you got 40 of those. Once you get through that, you got shimmies. Shimmies is going to be 20. So like I usually do, I go 5 each way, and I do that 4 times for 20. Once you finish the shimmies, you go right in through the sit-throughs. This is gonna be 10. And then once you finish that 10th one, you go right into your fallbacks. Little hop at the top. After that 5th one, take a sip of water, catch your breath, get into the next round, going through 5 rounds. Okay, for the second circuit, we're going to be working with the kettlebell, and you can, obviously you can use a dumbbell for these moves. If you need to load up a backpack, you can make it work for these moves as well. If you need to make your own kettlebell out of med ball and a towel, like I showed you previously, you can do that too. But I mean, really, the best thing to have is a good kettlebell. So the first move we're going to do is a combo. It's going to be a G squat into an overhead press. I want that to be a seamless move. So I want you thinking about what your hips are doing, where your acceleration points are, and where you're breathing, okay? So when I take this weight into the squat, obviously I'm going to breathe on the way down. I'm going to hold my breath through the push here. I'm going to exhale, inhale, and exhale. So the breathing goes out, in, out, in, and then if you wanted to take an extra breath, if you were doing a big set and you got kind of tired and you wanted to take an extra breath there, then that's where you would take it, either up here or when it's on your chest. But then once you're in the squat, you're going to be hold, out, in, out. Breathe. right? Just like that. From there, you're gonna go into the kettlebell swing. From there, you're gonna go into an up down. So you'll set the kettlebell aside, you go into an up down, then you'll grab that kettlebell again, jump to it, and you got your squat high pull, and then you finish up with high tuck jumps. All right, and I want you to go through all these moves as if it was one event. Once you start, you're committed to it, so make sure that you're ready before you start, okay? So I'm gonna go through a full round, and the reps are gonna be 12 for the combo, then it's gonna be 10 for the swings, 8 for the up downs, 6 for the high pull, 4 for the high tuck jumps, okay? It's gonna look like this. Set the weight in front of you. And there you have it. When you're resting on this, you can hear my breathing rate is pretty high. I'm pretty winded. So what I'm gonna wanna do, I'm gonna wanna take as much rest as I need so that I can breathe properly for the first move. That's the 12 G squat into the overhead press. So as the set goes on, you may take a little more rest. If you're using a heavier weight, you might end up taking a little more rest. If your weight is light, you might be going through this pretty quickly. I mean, if I was doing this with like a 35-pound weight, I would probably take 30 seconds and go and just get through it and make it a little more aerobic. But if I'm using, 50, 60, 70 pounds, I'm probably gonna end up taking about 2 to 3 minutes in between rounds as this goes on, and it's going on for 5 rounds. So you gotta kind of be, a little honest with yourself about how much rest you need. And remember, the key to how much rest you need is getting your heart rate down with some good purposeful breathing, not just talking a bunch, trying to give a bunch of instructions, but breathing. Shake it out, a little stretch. Walk around a little. Don't sit down. Don't lie down. Walk it out, shake it out. Keep yourself moving. Don't let yourself start to get stiff. Get ready for the next one. Think about a fighter. Fighters going through, this is just 5 rounds, right? Boxing, they're going through 12 rounds sometimes, right? So take as much rest as you need so that you can get your heart rate down, your breath under control, so that you can get through the next 12 reps of that squat overhead press, maintaining the breath the way that you need to maintain it to really have a good rhythm with that exercise. Have fun.